So I've been asked about what I've been doing on the coffee roaster recently. There's not a whole lot more to do. Right now it's a whole lot of sitting here watching this thing reach temperatures that I want it to. I actually reset these Cal 9500s to their factory resets. So now they read in Fahrenheit. We're at 279 degrees where the beans would be touching on the ground here, and 196 in the air. Unfortunately that's not a good accurate measurement because the thermocouple is right there, so it's not really getting a great read. I can't push it in any further either. Need to replace it. So that's it. This is what I've been doing as far as the coffee roaster goes. So why is that? Well, I've had some projects coming through the shop, and that's good. Projects keep the shop going. Made a few mallets. One of them already went to its new home. This is the first one that I ever made, and it has been handy. It's got a split cherry handle that had a knot right there that I just kind of liked. The idea, as far as for me anyways, for a wooden mallet is usually to strike something that I don't want to beat the hell out of, so that knot is not likely to affect the strength. This one has a handle made from an old pool cue, and you can see the maple and probably mahogany. I've had a few things come from work home. These are thwarts and a yoke, and then here's another one that hasn't been made yet, and the handle. Just making some router patterns so that I can speed them up. The shop gained a belt sander. This is not new, it's used. It needed a little love, and it just happens that I could give it to it. Now it runs like a champ. Not too loud. There's no stop on the belt, unfortunately. There's no work holder right here, but that's okay. I usually run 36 grit sandpaper on it, which is akin to touching a rasp as it was going about 30 miles an hour. Made myself a tiny light stand so that I could put light where I needed it to. I've had some signs come through the shop, which is what this table is set up for right now. And I've been cleaning. I know it does not look like it. We had some bad hurricane storms come through, and so the dogs got to stay in the shop, and one of them proceeded to make a mess. Here's our entertainment center, still exactly as I left it. Its trim wood is sitting here on the radial arm saw. It's black walnut and hickory. I was going to sandwich them together and make a laminated piece, 2 pieces of black walnut with a piece of this hickory sandwiched between them. Haven't done it. The coffee roaster, I bought a Plan B face for it. This is a 1/4 inch thick chunk of steel. I've been organizing a little bit, though it does not look like it again. Most of the wood has found its way back up onto the shelves. Sadly, my pine pile is not as big as it should be. That shelf should be full, plus underneath should have about 10 or 15 on it. I got both of the scroll saws working. Unfortunately, my joiner has become a table at the moment, but it does still work and I still use it quite a bit. I've just been trying to get this area cleaned. The steps, that was such a great idea. I think I'm going to take them apart and turn them into workbenches. My planer still is sitting on the floor. Now we're at 300 and 185. Excuse me. So, take you to the other rooms. I'm doing a little bit of cleanup. That's wood scrap being burned. So this room is usually reserved for sewing and my friend Rod's motorcycle and his tools. But some of the projects kind of overflowed into here because I was working on certain things. Here's the motor from the dishwasher. Some of you may remember that from one of the YouTube videos. It was actually going to have a fan put on it, and it had one for a little while, and was actually bolted to a stand, which probably found its way into the burn pile. but chose not to do that. Some of the organizing that I've done is just hanging some stuff up, making sure my tapes are all together, the screw drills, making sure the tool walls are stocked and standard. I recently found this little electric staple gun for about $30 off of its original price. Not that I need staplers. Everybody who knows me knows that I have a stapler or two. I got some extra circular saws thrown up onto the shelves, so if anybody needs one, I can lend them out. I would say I have extra routers, but those aren't extra. A lot of them are set up for certain things. Yeah. So, staplers. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So a lot of people who know me well know that I have a thing for buying used staplers. There's a simple reason for this. This is my most borrowed tool. This is what people borrow from me the most, is staplers. I have several hand-operated standard staple guns. A lot of staples. Always have staples on hand. I have one that a friend gave me. This is called a cable boss. And it's just for running cables and lines. You would put your cable down, and it throws out this insulated staple. So it's pretty handy. I've only used it like, I don't know, 5 times. I have a duct staple gun from my youth. And of course this guy I was about to put in there. I'm running out of room. About time to get a new box, I guess. Or an old box. The pneumatic staple gun. This is my 1/2-inch staple gun. This is made for upholstery. And there's its staples. I used to use stainless steel, but now I use galvanized. Because by the time that marine upholstery starts to degrade, to rust out these staples, they need to be replaced anyways. And the stainless steel ones, they never go away. I'm stuck with them forever and I can't get rid of them. They're also harder to remove. So I started going with these galvanized staples, and I've had no complaints whatsoever. So, yep. So screws and nails go down here. Bolts go in this device here. Springs, things that I recover from other things. Larger bolts. I have an entire drawer full of bolts about this size, by the way. Don't know what they came from, but I got them. So these were here when we moved in here, and I'm slowly going through those. This is all electronic stuff. There's a lot here. The 2 computer cases are there because computer cases make excellent enclosures. Wires and connectors. This is stuff that comes out of cars, such like that. 12-volt fans. I have an obsession with the computer fans and heat sinks, and I use them on a lot of projects, especially these nicer blowers like this. These are really nice. I have spools of electronics. There's capacitors and resistors all inside here. It's all spools. I have LEDs. Always keep LEDs on hand. These are boost converters, and then right beside them are more boost converters, and somewhere, I want to say they're in here. I may have moved them. Oh, nope, here they are. Buck converters, small buck converters. And this allows me to regulate voltage. I also try to keep these little guys on hand. These are heavy-duty plugs that allow me to charge my lawnmower batteries. I just plug them right in. I'm not a big fan of unscrewing a whole bunch of crap. Microwave parts and transformers, wall warts, voltage adapters. There are DC and AC, so I made sure to remind myself. This also has wall warts and such in it. These are server power supplies. They do work. They did not, but now they do, so they'll eventually be made to be wall power supplies. Here's another one. There's a computer power supply. So, here's the tool shelf. This is my maintenance shelf. On this shelf is nuts and bolts, which are in this bin here. Light cans, PVC. I keep quite a bit of PVC on hand, especially in that go box. These are rivets, leather maintenance stuff. There's always sandpaper on hand. Always sandpaper on hand. Drywall screws. More. These are eyelets and rivets and snaps. Always got lights on hand. It's actually time to buy more lights. I need to buy 2 6-packs of standard LED bulbs. I keep these on hand because you never. It's kind of odd how many people that I go to their house to work on something, and I find out they've got a light out where I need there to be a damn light. Here are light fixtures and outlet covers, and these are coil binders for cables. This stuff is really handy. You got a bunch of shit like running everywhere behind your computer desk. Go buy you some of this stuff. It's really cheap. Might be $5, and just wrap it all up. It's freaking fantastic. Pumps. I've got pumps. I've got 4 pumps. I got that big one. I got the 3 of the little ones. I've got filters. I've got UV lights, taps, lathe tools, socket set, sign stuff, electrical box, dovetail kit, router bits, 1 or 2 routers. Normally I buy rolls of sandpaper, but since I got these, I no longer need that. What are these, you ask? There is 180 and 150 grit in here, and each roll contains 32 feet. And there are, I think there's only 8 rolls in this box, but there's enough for 10 more rolls right here. Sander, mini drill press, the beast. This guy runs everything. I've had this for years. If I drill a hole, this is going to do it. It came with that. Staplers and nail guns, grinder, sawzall, circular saw, circular saw, circular saw, circular saw, sanders, Dremel, biscuit joiner, this is the Multi-Max Dremel tool, another Dremel. This is my drywall screw gun, rigid. Let's see, you can't see the orange and black. And I've stirred up a bunch of dust cleaning, by the way, so that's why I'm hacking. Jigsaw, sander, and then this kit. This is supposed to have staples and stuff in it, but it probably doesn't. This is my big router, and then this kit has bits and just odds and ends. Empty toolbox, unsorted toolbox. I like to go to thrift stores and stuff and buy toolboxes on the cheap, usually $12 or so. And when I get them, I bring them in here and set them aside. When I get a chance, I sort them. Wire reels, and that has electrical stuff in it as well. Zip ties and the like. I'm gonna put you on pause and we'll go on upstairs. Actually, I said I'd pause you going upstairs, but I feel like talking. It's been a busy night. You can see Snake has paid me a visit and left me a shit. Nice long snake too. So probably cruise around up there somewhere, or she'll fall on my head and scare the hell out of me. There's my fire down there. There's still no guardrail up here, though I did start making a rustic one down there. I just haven't had the time to mess with it. Still messy up here, though it has gained some organization. Aquarium and fish stuff goes up here. Christmas stuff is there underneath of my foam and fabrics. That's an old futon, kids' toys. My sewing machine that I still have not set back up. Toolboxes that don't need to be messed with. The wasp's hoard. Turn the light on. I just kind of abandoned this project in the middle. I got too busy. But up here we have transformers. We've got high voltage transformers. There will be a 20,000, 15, and 15. And this one is, I can't remember what the specifications for that beast is. Well, it's 6,100 watts, if that tells anybody anything. and it has not had its shunt removed, which is that little chunk in the center there, and it has not had its secondary coil removed, which is I can't remember, the secondary is the top one or the bottom one. Doesn't matter. A few old tripods that I use from time to time. Those are computer parts. This was one of the first drill presses that I had. Shade fabric, heavy duty rubber, spool of coax. That's the box that my drill kit came in that I've never used since. Just sat there. Some wheels, roller blades that I use for the wheels, part for my kayak, cameras and such, kayak. And eventually I'd like to kind of furnish this a little bit as a like a little apartment up here. Man cave, I guess you could call it, or if we can move the sewing machines up here, maybe it'll be the sewing room, sewing facility. And then I'd like to make this a lot safer and extend storage out over the rails there, because it's not doing a whole lot over here. So there's my trademark spray paint everywhere. I like doing it, man, but I graffiti my own stuff, not anybody else's. So I wish I knew where that snake was, because that's bugging the hell out of me. It's just a chicken snake, but still, don't exactly want to drop on my head. I just find it hilarious that it took a nice big healthy crap right there. Let me know what it thought of me. So there's the tool room from the top. It flooded back here for a long time until I squared that away finally. So thank you for anybody who contributed towards the shop, because part of that went to that. So eventually I'd like to remove this fence. There's about 14 inches behind it that I just can't use because there's no way to get back there. So I'm gonna do that soon. So can't really think of much else to talk about. Oh, figured I'd talk about the toolbox a little bit here. So I've got several toolboxes. Only one did I buy new, that's this guy here. This box is just these are hardened pins, what's in here. So those are for making scratch-alls with. The Allen wrench grave site. This is where they all go to die. This is a number 3 Morse taper gauge. A few rag scraps, and this is the decimal equivalency charts. I got 2 or 3 of them in there. And I made this gauge for a profile, and it's not written on there, it's actually written in one of my notebooks, but it's just to remind me of some trim somewhere. Alright, so pair of pliers. I got them. I found this crazy contraption at my grandmother's house. So, thought it was neat. I tossed it in a box. Pair of pliers. This is fencing pliers and lineman's pliers, or not lineman's pliers, channel locks. So, I've got extra channel locks. And there's nothing in here right now because this is the sheet metal tools portion of the box, and they are all out by the coffee roaster. Levels and straight edges go right here. One of them is out there on the upholstery bench. There's a square. My go-to hand plane. It's the cheapest plane I have. It's just a old Craftsman or a handy plane. Just a cheapo. Hammers. Lots and lots of hammers. This is my water key. My water key is big enough to hit stuff because occasionally you need to hit something, and it helps if it's got something behind it. So 1-inch bar surrounded by that has a slot milled in it. Hacksaw. The other hacksaw hangs right here. Notebooks, always keep notebooks on hand. Sometimes you have to hand them to people who are helping you. The miniature crowbar that I made, and I'll tell you what, we'll turn on a light. Click. There we go. Yeah, understand it. Alright, so now that there's light on, 1/2-inch drive equipment, ring and pliers, pruning equipment, this is my dovetail saw, my Pexto wrench. These are the best wrenches on the planet, I promise you. Even though I have a pipe wrench here, I usually reach for this guy. Felon wedges, machete, 3-pound sledge, sharpening file, hatchet, saw, axe. So, stuff I keep on hand. Grinding wheels go up here on these hooks. Each one is bent for a certain thing. The cutoff disc goes over here. Knotted wire wheel, sanding disc, and another sanding disc goes right here. There's the other plane. So I just put nails in. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's got to be fancy so I can hang my tools from it. Look, 2 nails, take you a pair of lineman's pliers, bend them over, hang a tool. Look at that! It didn't cost shit, okay? And it looks pretty good, especially if you have nails that come from a nail gun. You see they've got this cut off in the crown. Well, you can aim them all the same direction. Makes them look kind of sharp, you know. And they're stout enough that I can hang 3-pound hammer from without any problem. Okay, I can hit this and nothing comes down. So you got an earthquake or whatever. Here's my pry bars. I've got a little one. I've got another little one. And now I've got the tire iron. I've got this crowbar. This one, the one I made, this little guy here. This is a cat's paw or a hog's foot. This is a Wonder Bar. Everybody should have a Wonder Bar. And it just hangs in there. Okay. And this is a trim bar. That's what that's called, is a trim bar. And it's made for prying up wide pieces of trim without damaging anything behind it. Because all the prying will be behind the trim, it won't hurt it. So, yeah. Then we've got that little guy right there. It's just a tack claw. Drills. Tape measures. Tape measures all hang on a piece of angle here. It's just been screwed to the bottom. And each one just goes in place. This one came to me all the way from Sweden. This is the catch-all shelf. Unfortunately, it catches everything. Aspirin, always got to have it in the shop in case I decide to have a heart attack or something. Grenades, just to let people know what you think of. My friend made me this. Devin made me a collapsible grappling hook. And I'm sorry about the spider webs, but it is spider season right now. And then a little note from my wife. It's a little inspiring thing, and I like to be able to read it. Eventually, there's that gap. There's nothing back there. I can store nothing back there except for my pole saw and a few sheets of material. Oh, there's that piece of steel. Shit, I looked all over for that. Excuse me. I looked all over for that. Almost bought another piece too. Bricklaying stuff is in there, plus my battery charger. Measuring tools, cutting tools and layout tools. Sockets and wrenches, punches and chisels, sharpening stuff. I have a file or two. Screwdrivers, I just toss them in a button. And scrap metal. And then these, each one contain bits and Allen wrenches and stuff like that. Not here. There you go. Nothing special. So, that one there is unsorted. It was actually in this shop when we moved here. So, I'm trying to think of what else. Need to clear that bench off so that Rod can come and work on his motorcycle. His engine is sitting here, gathering dust. It's actually not that dusty, because I do try to keep this room fairly clean. But it's sitting here. I did get power in here, so he cannot complain about that. I'm going to put an air conditioner up here this year because I did get an air conditioner for this room. There's a motorcycle in here. It don't run. See, it's missing. It's missing a part. That pump used to keep this room dry, but I haven't had need of it since. And that is this is a tap press, and you just put your taps inside of here in these little holders, and you line your part up here, wherever you decide to put your pin, and it aligns it while you drive in your tap. I've used it several times. It's very handy. So this is gonna go. This is an old dryer hole, and it's gonna go outside so the dogs can sleep under it, because otherwise it's just gonna sit. It's not gonna do anything. That is the dryer drum. Haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that. I may put it in the, oh, I may turn it into a burn pit. I don't know. Well, that is it. I can't really talk a whole lot more. As you can see, I've been sweeping and doing a little bit of work in here. There's the air conditioner I got. It came at a great cost, also known as free. Unfortunately, my saw table there has been gathering stuff up, which is unacceptable. I got a steering. This is a steering bit for a boat, and it just turns 90 or 100. What is it? 180 degrees? I can't remember. But you turn this piece because that's where the wheel would have been, and then that piece rotates. And I think it only rotates 90 degrees. I don't remember. I was going to use it for something. It's neat. I thought it might make an interesting way to lock a door or something like that. The only way you could turn it is if you have the wheel, or have something that goes into the wheel, or I don't know, some bullshit like that. It sounds cool anyways in my brain. Though in reality it may be tedious and time consuming and not work. So we're at 314 degrees, so that means we've gone up by about 20 degrees in the last 27 minutes. So, like I said, I've been aiming for benchmarks, and it is taking forever. So I'm not sure how I can improve it, and that is a big issue. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck right now. And turn it off. Which actually I turned it off in the wrong order. I'm supposed to turn it on. Motor, controllers, heating elements. And then when you turn it off, you go heating elements, controllers, and then you let this run until all the beans come out of it. So that's how that's supposed to work. And then, because this fan runs no matter what, which is great because it'll keep everything cool, you come back here and you reach in there and wiggle, and it is hard to remove. You cut it off. And you close that up, and hold on, there we go. Put a little key in there. That's it. Nothing much. I've also been working on. I've got several other controllers here, and at first none of them worked, and I had to take each one apart and doctor them. Now, the person on eBay that I bought them from turned out to be a bit of a bully, so I'm glad that I got them for a great price and was able to get them working. Because I will not be buying from that person ever again. Now, that said, I'm not going to throw him under the bus, because maybe he was just having a shitty day. I don't know. He tends to have good reviews, so we're going to say, you know, he was alright. And it doesn't matter anyways, because for way less, I got this thing, and this is a really nice controller. So, you know, EBA guy, fuck you. And then, of course, another socket set, because life is not complete if you don't have at least 4. So, there we go. In lieu of updates and such, I have given a small tour of the shop. So to any of you who have donated in the past, I thank you very much. You can see where your money has gone, I hope. Though I haven't spent very much of it, to be very honest with you. The grand majority has still sitting there, still waiting to be spent and saved up and spent on other things. For those of you who have not donated, consider it. The GoFundMe site is still open, still running. And of course, if there are any questions, anybody has anything they want to add, anything they want to know about, be sure and ask. One of the things that I've done recently was there used to be an old cheapo entertainment center that sat right here in this corner and got horribly in the way. This is going to get stored, this stuff here goes up to the attic. The sheet metal is to fix a leak up there in the center part. And anyways, I got rid of that. That was a big accomplishment. The next big project is going to be to get rid of this desk. I imagine 20 years ago this was a really nice desk, but now it is a really crappy desk and it is really in my way, so it has to go. The next project after that is I'm going to make those work, not with the bulbs that are in them though, because those bulbs are very expensive to run, but I'm going to pull that big transformer off the top and retrofit a light very similar to that one, and the ones that illuminate the shop right now, into place so that they can run and operate. Because there are 4, and I hope, anyway, that they would output quite a good deal of light. But I don't know. Lighting this place is a real challenge. I have an 8-foot ladder, and my shop is 12 feet tall to the bottom of that beam. So it presents a pretty big problem working by yourself at such heights. Which is where that came in. The stair was supposed to be my hero, as it were. It was supposed to keep me from having to work up there by myself. But alas, projects rolled in, and I'll be very honest with you, I'm not going to complain about that. Now my fire burns down, burns low, and the night is getting on. So I believe that if you watch this whole video, I believe you have my best interest in mind. But that's it. Good night.